Good evening and welcome to Wednesday's We Are Leeds. Making the headlines on the show tonight. Fee agreed. Leeds confirmed they've accepted an offer from Norwich for Johnny Howson. Keeping Cairns, young goalkeeper Alex agrees new contract with the Whites. And Danny's delight. Pugh's happy with permanent deal and looking forward to promotion push. Good evening and welcome to Wednesday's We Are Leeds. I'm joined in the studio tonight by James Varley. Good evening.
Good evening, Ben.
Thoughts from James in a moment, but let's start with the big breaking news of the day. And Leeds United have confirmed they've received an acceptable offer for Johnny Howson from Norwich City. Now, the club has reluctantly accepted the offer on the basis that the player has only 6 months of his contract remaining with Leeds United and has expressed a desire to play in the Premier League at the earliest possible opportunity. Now, the club has been in discussions with Johnny about a new contract for the last 12 months, but has been steadfast in his position that he would like to play Premier League football. And on that basis, Johnny hasn't felt in a position to commit himself to Leeds United. Now, the player would be available to leave on a free at the end of the contract. So we'll have to see what happens on this. James, disappointing news for Leeds United fans. You can understand some frustration.
Certainly. I mean, obviously, Johnny is the club captain. He grew up very close to Elland Road, came through the club's academy. He's Leeds born and bred, so you can understand the fans' frustration. Everybody, associated with the club, I think, is a little bit disappointed about this. Obviously,
the club are annoyed as well that this has come out and been made public at this stage because it's still ongoing. There is nothing definite either way at this stage. A fee has been accepted, but Johnny Howson hasn't left Leeds United.
No, he hasn't yet, and I think we must stress that. This is subject to a medical and Johnny agreeing terms with Norwich City. I mean, there's no doubt about it. Johnny Howson has got a big decision to make here. He's, as we said, he's Leeds born and bred. He's the captain of this club. He lives close with his girlfriend and daughter. You know, does he want to go down to Norwich? We'll have to wait and see in the next few days.
You got the impression that Johnny was going to wait and see what happened. He wanted to get to the Premier League, was hopefully going to do it at Leeds, and was going to wait till the summer to sort out his future. This from Norwich has kind of come as a bolt from the blue because it isn't one of the deals we've seen speculated in the last couple of weeks.
It has come as a bolt from the blue, as you suggest, Ben, and I think that's why the fans are getting, really, annoyed about it, and it's getting them hot under the collar. But we have to look at it from a business point of view as well as a football point of view. Johnny had 6 months to go on his contract, and we've seen players leave when they're out of contract before and leave for nothing. And if a club comes in with an acceptable offer, as is the case here, then we've got to look at it from that point of view.
Like you say, it's 6 months, but in reality, it's 20 games, isn't it? And it will be interesting to see if the Johnny Howson deal does go through, what Simon will do, because it will leave him short in central midfield. One name immediately springs to mind. It's the easy option, but Fab Delph then looks an even more attractive proposition.
Well, he certainly does, yeah. I mean, we keep hearing the speculation about Fabian Delph. The club are not confirming anything, but they're not denying anything either. So perhaps there will be movement in that area over the next few days. But it seems like Aston Villa are willing to talk to Leeds United about Fabian Delph at the moment. So we'll see where that leads.
OK, more from James in a moment. First, let's go up to Thorpe Arch, though. There has been some contract news today regarding Alex Cairns. And, of course, Danny Pugh recently signed his permanent deal with the club. James reports for We Are Leeds.
The pitches have thawed at Thorpe Arch, and the players are back on the training ground after Saturday's draw at Crystal Palace. The tension has now turned to this weekend's home match against Ipswich Town, and one man set to be involved again is Danny Pugh. The former Stoke player recently signed a permanent deal with the Whites after arriving on loan earlier in the season, and the left-sided utility man is delighted to have put pen to paper on a 2.5-year deal.
Oh, absolutely buzzing. I've loved it since the first day I came back again. It's been great for me, and to get it all signed and sealed is brilliant, and I can relax now and start settling in more and hopefully enjoy the football as much as I have been doing. I've played in three positions, something like that, and yeah, I'm just willing to, wherever the manager needs me, or there's a gap, injuries or whatever, I can fill in and hopefully do the best for the team. I just want to be playing really, whether it's in the middle, on the left back, wherever. I just want to play, and wherever the manager needs me, hopefully I can do a job.
Pugh says confidence remains high among the squad as United look to kick on after some improved performances.
Confident as a group of lads and as a team. We know we're good enough to win these games. So no, that's never been an issue, but we know we haven't played as well as we can do. But like you said, the last two games, league game, well, and the cup game as well, has been more positive, and that's what we're looking at now.
Another man to have signed on the dotted line for Leeds is young goalkeeper Alex Cairns. The teenager has come through United's academy and made his home debut against Blackpool in November. He said signing for Leeds was a simple decision.
Easy decision straight away. As soon as it got put to me, I was always want to commit to this club because it's such a great club to be at, and the players are brilliant. It's great to work with Lonners and Mike, and because they've got great experience between each other, and just to learn everything from them and just learn some more now for the next 2 years. I've just been trying to get my head down, work on a lot of things that I need improving, and Lonners and Mike have helped with that, especially with Andy Beasley, the goalkeeper coach, have been brilliant with me.
Sir Cairns is working hard with United's experienced stoppers, and he's delighted to be at a club renowned for blooding young talent.
It proves that the manager's got faith in the youth, and it shows like what the youth is bringing through, and it proves that Leeds United has got a great academy.
Zach Thompson, Tom Lees and Adi White have all broken through for Leeds this season, and Cairns is hoping to be the next youngster to go from the academy into Simon Grayson's first team.
James Varley reporting, and James Varley still with me in the studio, working hard today.
Certainly am.
Let's talk about the news from Thorpe Arch then. Obviously, it's going to get lost in amongst what's happened with Johnny Howson today. But it is good news that Alex Cairns has signed a new deal because he's a promising young prospect.
He certainly is, and he's another chap that's come through the Leeds United Academy. He's already made his debut for the club against Blackpool. He's been on the fringes, and as he was saying in the VT there, he's gaining a lot of experience with the likes of Andy Lonergan and Mike Taylor, and you know, he looks a good prospect for the future. OK, well, congratulations to him. Danny Pugh's move being made permanent in January hasn't really seemed like news because we knew it was going to happen. He's been here on loan anyway, but he has made a big impression. He's one of those players that people don't instantly notice until he's not there. I think a lot of people would describe Danny Pugh as one of the most underrated players at Leeds. He's been especially versatile this season. He's very, very solid down that left side, can play left wing, left back. We've even seen him in the centre of midfield on occasions, and I think he's one of those unsung heroes that managers absolutely loves. The fans don't always appreciate a player like that, but the manager and the coaching staff certainly do. When you look at the current squad, he's one of the few with Premier League experience and top-level experience. He's played a lot of games in the top division. Yeah, he has. I mean, he got quite a lot of experience at Stoke City, played plenty of Europa League games for them, so, you know, somebody with that kind of pedigree is only going to add and bolster the squad. Simon Grayson down in London today with Robbie Rogers for his tribunal on his work permit. Obviously, we're hoping, and you presume from the way the club have dealt with this, that this is going to be fine and go through. Well, we have Jurgen Klinsmann on our side, so I think you know, that's one in our corner. Yeah, hopefully. I mean, these things are never a formality, but the guy is a USA international. He hasn't played the required number of games, hence why we have this issue. But yeah, hopefully that will all get sorted out, and we'll have news of that later. OK, a couple of trialists who've been mentioned from the Newcastle game. Of course, a 2-0 win for the Whites at Ellen Road. Craig Jones and Matty Pattinson. Do we know anything more about them? Well, Craig Jones currently plays for TNS in the Welsh Premier League. He has Champions League experience and has scored a couple of goals. I was reading up today, he got one against Bohemians, the Irish side, and also scored against Anderlecht. He's one of the Welsh Premier League top players. He's been named in their team of the year for the next few years, for the past few years rather. And apparently Leeds have been tracking him for some time. So we'll have to see how he gets on. He did pretty well yesterday. Played on the right wing against Newcastle, made a bit of an impression. So I think he's got a week with us. So let's see how he does. And the other guy, Patterson, was on the score sheet. Yeah, Patterson, a bit more of a pedigree, South Africa international. He's got experience with Norwich. He started at Newcastle. And he played well yesterday, actually. He played on the left wing, came in, scored a good goal, decent finish. Seemed to link up well with Mikel Forsell. So another one to keep an eye on over the next couple of weeks. OK, James, as always, thank you very much for joining us in the studio. Next up, let's get our regular Wednesday update with the Leeds United chairman, Ken Bates. The club have made no comment on Johnny Howson, just releasing the statement. It's the same situation with the Leeds chairman, but I did talk to him about transfers and asked the question about a Fab Delph return to Ellen Road.
Well, there are lots of discussions going on about players both in and out, and if I commented, every bit of speculation took place, we'd have this 5-hour interview instead of mercifully a 15-minute interview. We are talking to a number of clubs about bringing players in, possibly permanently as well as on loan. But we'd rather, as usual, announce what we've done rather than what we're going to do.
Now, this morning, a story was put on LeedsUnited.com confirming that the club have accepted an offer for Johnny Howson from Norwich, with the player having just 6 months left on his contract and having stated a desire to play in the Premier League at the earliest possible opportunity. Now, while discussions continue over personal terms between the player and Norwich, I know you're not going to comment on the Johnny Howson story at the moment, but there are other stories in the media today linking players with moves away from Ellen Road. Are these stories an unwanted distraction at this stage?
Well, yes, of course it is. I mean, we can't stop speculation. A lot of the problems you have in these days are agents who leak stories to the press for two reasons. Obviously, to stimulate interest in their players and to try and see if there's more than one club that could be interested in a player. Get an auction going on terms, and we make a note to those agents and also make a note not to deal with them in the future unless absolutely necessary, because if you can't trust them, you can't do business with them. But we are active behind the scenes. I mean, we've already signed Danny Pugh. We've already extended Meg Taylor's contract. We've signed young Townsend from Tottenham, so that's 3. We've agreed terms with one of our young players, and we'll announce that as soon as it's been signed. He's signed, rather. And there are other discussions going on, but as usual, we talk about what we've done, not about what we want to do, what we're going to do.
Now, this week you've been at the club 7 years. The song talks about ups and downs. How's the experience been for you?
Yes, Ben, it's been 7 years hard labour, and I'm totally innocent.
We'll move on to the game at the weekend against Ipswich. 2 important home games coming up. Ipswich, a side who don't want to be underestimated, but they've been in a terrible run and been struggling all season.
Yes, they actually thought they were going to be on the front runners. Something seems gone terribly wrong there, but they're still a force to be reckoned with. Of course, we're now in our last 20 games of the season, 11 of which are at home and only 9 away. So it's important that we do beat Ipswich and keep our 2012 league unbeaten run going.
Leeds United Chairman Ken Bates on We Are Leeds. That's almost it for tonight. Tomorrow we'll have a look at the under-18s and catch up with Neil Redfern on their progress. And of course we'll start looking ahead to the game against Ipswich at Ellen Road on Saturday. Tickets still on sale, 0871 334 1992. But for tonight, from myself, James and the team at We Are Leeds, that is your lot. Thank you and good night.